Okay, we are back. So again, you should have something to write with and write on. If you want to just write on the back of the handout I gave you, I don't know, feel free. Okay, principles of democracy. Democracy. What does it mean to live in a democracy? This is a bit of a repeat question, but based on what we just read in that handout, what are some of your responsibilities living in a democracy? We just went over them.
Voting, jury duty, protesting,
Being
being equal,
well, being informed.
being informed about the government.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Well done. Okay. Paying taxes. Wow.
That one.
Wow. Okay, what else? Right, what are some other responsibilities? What does it mean to live in a democracy?
Doing
Hold on, let's see over here. We kind of got one. No, back there again. Attending community meetings, right? Alberta has, community halls. We have these small communities, so being active, participating in those, assuming there's something going on there, right?
Speaking your opinions to those who will listen.
Speak your opinions to those who will listen. And how should we express those opinions? Should we do it like that person you were referring to, standing on the corner and with the big microphone and throwing pamphlets at people's cars?
Yes.
No, don't do that, kids.
Hijack.
Terrible, right?
What?
Have respectful dialogue with people who have difference of opinion and beliefs. Okay. Why does voting matter? Always crinkling through some sort of stuff.
now for the 7th course.
Okay. Why does voting matter? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't vote, you have no chance of getting what you want.
Yeah, in a democracy, voting, speaking your opinion, expressing yourself, these are the ways that we get our ideas into the public's eye, and it's our way of potentially getting into seats of authority the people who we feel will represent our beliefs and values and who will govern justly and goodly, right? If you're just like, it doesn't matter, right? So there's a really good quote, like, the people who kind of give up that responsibility, their punishment, their consequences, that they will be ruled over by idiots. I think it says if intelligent people refuse to enter into politics, their punishment is that they will be ruled over by idiots, right? And look where we are. Okay, so again, this is just the 6 categories. They're already in the handout. You might want to keep that handout out as we go over these questions. But what principle of democracy do we think is here? What's going on in this image? This you kids are hip with all this stuff. Come on, what's going on? Hip.
We're getting likes.
They're getting likes. They're social media, right? So principle of democracy, maybe freedom of
Is anyone in Facebook Marketplace?
freedom to express opinion. Freedom to express opinion. Rule of law might come later, right? So they're communicating online, right? They're expressing their opinion. Their freedom of communication, freedom of expression. I would say probably freedom of expression. Okay. What do we think this is? This might be a couple. Which principle of democracy?
Election.
These are the signs to how people to vote
for me.
Right. So what aspects of a democracy does this cover? Right. Again, look at your handout.
Everybody wants to say.
Fair elections, potentially we could consider under this. What else? Who are these 4 people? Are they some special people appointed by God and King?
Yes.
No. Who are they? They're just
People.
they're candidates. They're people, right? They're citizens, right? That's one of your rights in a democracy. It's one of your principles.
Who is Dan Elvis?
I don't know. Okay. Definitely not Albus Dumbledore. I'll tell you that. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Hey, what is this? What's that look like?
Protest. Freedom to protest.
Freedom to protest, right? Freedom of peaceful assembly. Okay. What is this? We talked about this. It's 2 words.
Question period.
Question period, right? You're allowed to question this guy, you're allowed to question this guy, that girl, whoever else. I actually don't know who these people are, but you know, they are allowed to be questioned. Politicians aren't high and mighty and above us, right? Like, get away from me, peasant, you can't question me. You're allowed to ask them questions. You're allowed to ask them very critical questions. Okay, what is this? What principle is this? You said it earlier.
Supreme Court.
Rule of law.
Rule of law, right? Some other things we can mention. Supreme Court, right? So what does the Supreme Court do? What is their goal? Making sure that
Everyone's treated fairly.
right, treated fairly, treated equally, protecting our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, hopefully.
The guy on the far left looked like
Ooh, what's this person doing? You kids don't do this.
looking at the news.
Well, I was gonna say read, but yeah, looking at the. No way. How many of you read? Raise your hand.
First of all, I have a
Half of you.
in my-
Hey, more than half. Let's go. We can make a clip of that. Okay. Yeah, freedom of the press. Freedom of the press is important, right? If you just have one news station, let's say CBC, and that's funded by the government, do you have freedom of press?
No.
No, you should be allowed to have alternative media, people who are, you know, privately or personally funded, who can kind of write about whatever they want. And they can criticize the government, they can support the government. They can do their own investigative journaling, right? If you just have one media station, 2 or 3, and they're funded by the government, you know, your freedom of press is very limited. Why might that be important? Why is it important to have people who aren't paid by the government writing news?
Because you hear different opinions and other points of views.
You hear different opinions from different sources.
You get real opinions, ones that aren't changed by money or something.
Yeah, maybe you get a more authentic opinion, right? Anyone else?
If they pay by the government, they're gonna be told what to say.
If they're paid by the government, perhaps they're either told what to say, or someone who is writing a story that's critical of the people who are giving you your paycheck. Maybe your boss says, hey, you know what, I think you should tidy up your stuff and go home.
Uh-oh.
Because my paycheck is on the line with your journalism, right? So we want to be careful of that. Okay? I don't even know what's going on here.
It's some stupid.
What do you think is going on here?
Some idiot.
Mask
is
required. Mask. So
What did you
The
say?
first person he looked at, me and Jordan said, "Oh."
Yeah, he's always got something to say. Come on.
So this is like a
Something stupid.
face covering.
We got to be more articulate than just saying something stupid. We got to more directly get to the point. Or
So
problem.
this is.
No, I didn't say raise your voice. I said you need to be more articulate.
So this.
Don't you become a computer or something?
Please continue.
This is talking about how the government can like put in these regulations to like cover the faces during the COVID.
This guy was listening. The first thing in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms states that all of these rights and freedoms can be taken away from you if it's proved democratically that restrictions should be applied, right? Which may not be a nice thing. Okay. We also talked about protecting the minority, right? What if you were the part of the smaller minority that didn't want to wear a mask? Not being protected, right?
It says you're supposed to cover your nose. I've seen like half the people in Walmart just like.
People wearing a mask around their chin.
They
Gotta
don't
keep
even
that
like-
beard safe, you know? I don't know what this is. Again, what's going on
What
here?
is it?
Cole, what is it?
Oh, you should be
That-
representing you.
I see Cole.
Oh, is that you? I don't like that.
This could be freedom of
This
expression.
is a pride parade.
It could be also your right to not be discriminated against based on, let's say, sexual orientation, things we can throw in there, your gender, right, your religion, whatever, right? So you're free, like, you know, you can't be barred from being hired because, like, I don't know, you're gay, or you're a conservative, or, you know, you're like brown skinned, right? They can't do that in Canada. Okay. Ooh, what is this?
No, speak up, Jace. Speak up.
Who are
Tell
these?
Mr. Kawaja what you
Those
just
are
said.
old people. Jurors.
Tell her.
Jurors. What are jurors?
They people.
They're not old people, man. They're anyone. Hey, my cousin. My cousin who's like 18 to 21, I don't really know, I don't keep track. I think he's like 21. He got selected for jury duty. First thing he does, he goes into the group chat. He's like, "Hey guys, how do I get out of jury duty?" Brother, I don't think that's how it works.
Don't show up and have a get arrested.
Yeah, don't show up and get arrested, right? Or get fined, right? It's
Just
expensive.
agree
so-
with everyone around you.
So these are the people who are appointed by the court of public opinion to make decisions about different court proceedings, such as criminal court, that court where like people sue each other.
Wow, we're really getting into it.
Man, like you have like a textbook in your brain right now.
They appointed out.
They're appointed, court of public opinion. Sometimes they.
Don't they just like sit there and watch and then vote whether someone's guilty or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So you're like, let's say you commit a criminal crime and they get a jury in there. Your
They're like witnesses.
fate is going to be determined by 12 strangers that are selected by the two lawyers, the two parties involved. Right? Yeah. And it's their duty. I don't know why. It's kind of strange, right? Like, imagine you commit a crime and there's just 12 strangers there who are going to determine whether or not you go to jail.
It would be difficult seeing like one of your friends in the stand.
Well, no, so they wouldn't allow that, right? Yeah. Hey, what is this?
The press conference.
The press,
That's a new
Freedom
press
of.
asking the.
What did we say about speaking loud? Freedom of. Right. What kind of
Press.
principles? Speech, press, media.